Well, greetings, happy Saturday, and it is time for our Radio Wasteland Live. Once again, thank you all so much for being here. Let me get a couple of more things going, and we'll get to you guys saying hi there this morning. So what do we have? Corey, good morning to you. To the Wasteland, from the Wasteland. Chuck says hey, as well as Chuck says hey again on both YouTube and Facebook. Hopefully the signal is coming through loud and clear on both of them for you this morning. I do want to apologize if I miss a comment or two. It's pretty much just me running this, so I do apologize for that. So lots to get to today, so let's go ahead and dive right in. First off, I think some of you may have noticed we got a lot of new people, by the way, on the Facebook page especially, which is great. And welcome to all of you, and welcome to those of you who are new to the YouTube channel as well. Don says good morning, as does Gary. Good morning to both of you guys as well. But with lots of new folks, it may take you a little bit to acclimate. So last night, as we closed the store, I put up a little teaser photo on Facebook with a question mark. It just so happened to be a one of the Batman type images that showed that from the question mark again. So folks were guessing, what does that mean? Well, is there a Batman album? There was one guest from our friend Tony who suggested the Clown Posse of the Insane Variety possibility. None of that is actually true, because I just truthfully needed a question mark because it is time once again today. Young James and I put out about 15 mystery bags for you. Again, for those of you who are new, who may not be familiar with what this concept is, last time we did this was, Small Business Saturday before Christmas, right after Thanksgiving. So what happens with a mystery bag? It is $1, and inside of here are 10 records, likely from the dollar bin. In fact, they're all from the dollar bin. We pull them. It's a variety of genres. Don't fool yourself. You're going to get country. You're going to get big band. You're going to get lots of Barry Manilow-esque type stuff, and Burt Kampfer, Mitch Miller and the gang. But somewhere in one of these bags, we have put a non-dollar bin. And this time around, it's a sealed RSD item from a previous drop last year. Then there's some other goodies, some $2 or $3 ones buried throughout as well. This time, I think I put in a defective return, which means that the album is good except for the first song on each side. You'll understand when you see it, but it's a brand new record. So these are while supplies last today, and I guarantee you that the supplies, typically when we put these out, they do not last long. So please be aware of that. Folks do come in and grab them by the handfuls especially. And happy Saturday to you as well. Rick, good morning. You're going to see later after the freezer is defrosted. Are you talking about your freezer actually, or just the outside? Because baby, it's cold out. It's cold out enough you might need one of our Doogie's hats, Radio Wasteland beanies. There's only 2 red ones left, by the way. So we also have Rick from Grand Rapids saying hi. Nikki, those are cool. Yes, the mystery bags are. I think that's what you're referring to. Gary says the Dire Straits. Gary picked up a bunch of the Dire Straits. Start Your Ear Off Right. They are great, and he recommends them to all Dire Straits fans as well. Sam says yo this morning. Good morning, and yo back to you, Sam. And Tyler says hi to you as well, sir. Well, speaking of those Rhino reissues, if you caught our record show, the new thing we're doing on YouTube on Wednesday evenings, we talked with Ken Norton from Ingram Entertainment about these Rhino releases, and the Dire Straits were a big hit. They did come off very, very nicely. Actual freezer, Rick says, good to know. It's freezing outside too. But the general consensus is Rhino's doing a great job with these reissues, as they typically do. So this week, we teased them, and we've got a bunch of them here. We've got the full gamut of the John Prine reissues, and these were the Asylum years. So we've got Bruised Orange, Pink Cadillac. These are the Rhino reissues, and Storm Windows. Now, each of these 3 albums from Prine, let me get to my notes here. Bruised Orange was 1978, Pink Cadillac 1979, and Storm Windows from 1980. Now, the interesting thing here is, according to Discogs, by the way, Bruised Orange is listed in the genre of folk, Pink Cadillac a year later, country folk, and 1980 Storm Windows as country folk bluegrass. But it's John Prine, and you know you're going to get some good music. So we do have several copies of each of these 3 in the store. Brand new release as of yesterday from Rhino and their Start Your Ear Off Right campaign. By the way, That is the last part of the Rhino campaign is this week. It'll wrap up with the releases from here. And we'll hear from them again probably in October. Okay, other new releases this time around include a Steve Wilson, The Future Bites. We're going to take a deeper look at Steve Wilson and his remixes coming up in the next record show on Wednesday. We'll take a couple listens. I'm going to try to get the light out of there. We'll get a couple of listens to this record and talk about what Steven Wilson does as far as his remixes. Unfamiliar with a lot of his music, but I am familiar with some of his remixes. They've come through the store from time to time. He is just an audio wizard in addition to being a great musician, but he is most noted for creating 5.1 surround sound remixes, usually accompanied by a new stereo mix of a lot of great prog rock albums. And we'll cover this a lot deeper on the show on Wednesday on the record show. So make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel so you see that. But the work that he's done has included a lot of stuff from King Crimson, a lot of stuff from Yes is in there as well, and just a ton of great prog rock bands. And if you get a chance to hear one of those remix albums, they're phenomenal. But anyhow, we do have a copy of the Steven Wilson, The Future Bites to look at. We got one in the store, and we'll take a deeper look at that on Wednesday, as I mentioned. Okay, one other new release from yesterday. It's Guided by Voices. These guys have been around since 1983, for crying out loud. This is their 30th or 30-plus studio albums that they've kicked out. So this new one is from Guided by Voices. It's called Styles We Are Paid For. They pretty much put out an album. It feels like every month and a half. This is their first of the new year, but I think there's probably going to be more. Guided by Voices, by the way, formed, as I mentioned, in 83 in Dayton, Ohio. And their studio albums run the gamut from 87 all the way through this one. So check them out if you're a fan of good college radio style alternative music. Recent releases back in stock. We've got one more clear vinyl Jeff Tweedy from Wilco. We've got a Crack the Sky special limited edition with bonus tracks. I'm not certain if that means that this is on colored vinyl or not, but it is limited. Colored vinyl, though, we got another copy of the Kinks on red vinyl. Their reissue from a couple of weeks back. And just regular reissues. We've got a Nevermind the Bollocks Sex Pistols. This is a Warner reissue from a while ago. For you punk aficionados who want to get some of that UK Brit punk out of your system, you can do that as well. Now, on last week's record show, we talked about Bob Mould and the big box set release. But to back that up, I thought we'd bring in some really cool Bob Mould releases. So we've got a bunch of these reissues on the shelf as well, including Silver Age, Patch the Sky, which is a great album, Sunshine Rock from 2019, and his latest Blue Hearts from last year, 2020. All of these great albums in their own right. If you haven't checked out Bob Mould, tune back to last week's record show and check it out and give him a listen as well. By the way, also, we got a file under easy listening, one of the best post-Husker Du albums from Bob Mould and Sugar as well. So there is a lot of other great stuff. If you didn't get a chance to check out our drop video, please do so as well. There still is a lot of goodies left. Sam says the Tweety is great stuff. That's right. You did pick one up. It's really cool. But to highlight a couple of things from the vintage vinyl side, just wanted to point these out. We don't see a lot of MoFi stuff come through, but when we do, it's cool. This is a Zubin Mehta conducts suites from Star Wars and Close Encounters of the Third Kind with the the Los Angeles Philharmonic Orchestra. And this is a MoFi original master recording. Stay tuned for our releases next week. I think I did score a very important MoFi that was released last week. We finally got it, and so I think I'll have one copy, but I'm going to wait till it's in the store to tell you what that is, but that's coming up next week. Also in the vintage vinyl, something fairly interesting from Third Man Records, a soundtrack to The Great Gatsby. This is the fairly recent one. It's the deluxe edition from the Baz Luhrmann film. I used to teach film, and Baz Luhrmann, well, you got to hold on tight for him as a filmmaker. I think I've seen parts of his take on The Great Gatsby, but this is the music from it. So there's a lot of interesting stuff on here, including stuff from Jack White, Beyonce, Lana Del Rey is on here. It's Tobey Maguire and Leonardo DiCaprio singing as well. Green Light, Jay-Z, Kanye West, lots of cool stuff. Now, this is a collectible, and the price tag comes in a little hefty. That's really within the Discogs median. But there is another Discogs version out there, super limited. They put it on gold and platinum metallicized vinyl from Third Man, and that typically runs between $500 and $1,200 on Discogs. So now it's been a long time since I have read any F. Scott Fitzgerald, so I'm really kind of stretching when I go back to my history with Gatsby. But if memory serves right, was he some sort of a hedge fund manager? Trying to remember. Hey, speaking of gold vinyl, we also got this copy, limited edition of Kelly Clarkson's Breakaway on gold vinyl, super limited, 2,000 copies rather on this one. So we did get a copy of that in the store. And finally, as we mentioned on the record show last week, we also had something called Erotic Polka. The album that was featured is gone. Somebody picked it up, but we did have one more. I'm going to assume that this is not such erotic polka as it is adult polka, but this is Ray Budzelik and his orchestra singing more Polish songs Mama Never Taught Me. So, and on that polka front, we did put out one other one, local flavor, the Saginaw Valley Polka All-Stars, featuring great artists from New Lothrop, St. Charles, Owasso, Corunna, Swartz Creek, Ovid, Bath. So a lot of great stuff. Names along the lines of Bill Nemes, Frank Vajasek, Eddie Fornasek. I'm going to have some trouble with those, so we'll just let that go and let you guys pick it up. All right, looking at the time, we got just a couple of minutes. I wanted one final thing here. Just in time for your Christmas shopping needs, I would like to announce that we did manage to get one Audio-Technica LP60X turntable in. So if you're looking for that perfect Christmas, what am I talking about? It's been a while. The turntables that have been on back order are starting to shake loose, as are a bunch of the vinyl back orders. I think we're finally starting to see some light at the end of the tunnel. Now, that being said, that's the only turntable we've managed to get, and I think I've got orders for 4 or 5 other ones. This one, however, is not spoken for. So if you didn't get one for Christmas, or you know somebody that's looking for one, these are what we're carrying. But I've only got the one in stock, and it's kind of a first come, first served on that one until we can get some more. And it is the red turntable model. So on that note, I think we're going to go ahead and wrap up our live for today. If you haven't done so, please do us a favor and click that. It's either on this side or this side. I always forget where we put it. But click that subscribe button if you're on YouTube. If you're watching us on Facebook, chances are you already do like the page. But we're really, really trying to kick into gear a lot of stuff on the YouTube channel, as I've mentioned. And it will help us to grow and continue to do better and reach more people if you hit subscribe and possibly even share those videos once in a while. We do have a lot of cool stuff, as I keep saying, forthcoming on that as well. So that being said, outside the sun was shining when we came in, but it's a little chilly out, but it looks like it's going to be a decent day here at the Wasteland and thereabouts in the surrounding area. Maybe a little snow on the way for tomorrow. So make it a chance to swing by today. And don't forget the mystery bags are out until they are gone. And there's only 15 of them. They pick them up for $1 a piece. We are here from now, as I open and lock the doors, until 6 p.m. and then open tomorrow, Sunday, from 12 noon until 5 p.m. Would love to see you down here at the Wasteland. So until next week, when we do it live again, we'll talk to you then. But don't forget, the record show will air, as I say, upload Wednesday night on our YouTube channel right around 7-ish or whenever I remember to put that up there. So until then, you guys have a great weekend and a great next week, and we will talk to you next time from Radio Wasteland Records in Midland. Thanks so much for being here.